There is a kind of loneliness that has nothing to do with the number of people surrounding you. It's a deeper, more fundamental state of isolation. A feeling that you are encased in a thin, invisible layer of glass. You can see out and others can see in. You can laugh at the right moments, say the right things, and play your part convincingly, but you remain the silent spectator of a life that is supposedly your own. At the center of this feeling is the tremendous, crushing weight of the word I have to make the decision. I have to bear the consequences. I must carry the baggage of my past and single-handedly forge a future. You feel like a solitary soldier responsible for defending a vast and precarious frontline. The independence you've cultivated, the strength you project to the world, often feels less like a fortress and more like a prison designed for one. We are raised to admire this condition. We are taught to be strong individuals, self-reliant captains of our own destiny. We spend our lives building the walls of our identity brick by brick, our unique history, our private thoughts, our personal ambitions, defining ourselves by how we are separate from everyone and everything else. This separateness, we are told, is the source of our strength. But in the quiet moments, in the dead of night, you feel the hidden cost of this magnificent isolation. It is the cold dread of being a single temporary flicker of awareness in an infinite and silent universe. A brief, fragile spark that will one day be extinguished, leaving no trace in the vast, indifferent cosmos. This is the ache of existential loneliness, the bone-deep conviction that you are fundamentally, irrevocably on your own. You feel the immense strain of being this solitary self, tasked with holding your world together by the sheer force of your will. But what if this feeling of separation is not a fundamental truth you must endure? What if the loneliness isn't a feature of the universe, but a consequence of the very walls you were taught to build? To even begin to question that wall of separation feels like a kind of madness. Our entire sense of who we are, our name, our history, our ambitions is built upon the foundation of being a separate individual. To suggest that this foundation is an illusion can feel like erasing the very signature of your own existence. And yet, this is precisely the point that philosopher Alan Watts saw as the gateway to liberation. He argued that the feeling of being an isolated ego, a lonely I, trapped inside a bag of skin, is the central superstition of the modern world. It is not a biological fact, but a social convention. It is a story we are told from the moment we learn our name, a role we are taught to play with absolute conviction. The lonely self is not who you are. It is who you have learned to pretend to be. To explain this, Watts would use a simple, powerful analogy: the wave and the ocean. Imagine a wave on the sea. It has a distinct form, a temporary identity. It rises, it crests, it falls. But is the wave separate from the ocean? Of course not. The wave is the ocean itself performing an action called waving. You are that wave. You are not a person who was born into this world from somewhere else. You grew out of it. You are the universe peopling. You are not a stranger here. You are an expression of the whole. The feeling of being a separate ego is just a focused point of consciousness, like a spotlight on a vast stage. We have made the catastrophic mistake of believing the spotlight is the entire show. The existential loneliness you feel is the natural, inevitable consequence of this mistake. It is the imagined grief of the wave, believing it is cut off from the ocean. It is the terror of the apple, forgetting it is connected to the tree. The immense strain you feel is the effort of maintaining the illusion of your own separateness against the unified reality of the universe. So the path to dissolving this loneliness is not about finding better ways to connect your separate self to other separate selves. It is about seeing through the illusion of this separate self altogether. It is the profound and staggering relief of realizing that you were never just the wave. You are, and always have been, the entire ocean. How is this illusion of the separate self created? And how is it so powerful that it can generate the profound ache of loneliness? Alan Watts would explain that the culprit is not a mystery. The ego is a phantom created primarily by two things: language and the spotlight of our own attention. From infancy, we learn to associate a specific sound, our name, with the sensations of our body. We are taught to abstract ourselves, to create a symbol for the whole living organism. Then, we are told a story about this symbol. A story made of memories, hopes, and fears. This story, this chain of thoughts, becomes our identity. The ego is not a physical thing. It is a social convention, a habit of thought, a story you have told yourself so many times you have forgotten it is a story. We then make a second mistake. We assume this story is a pilot living inside the machine of the body. We say, I think, I walk, I feel. But Watts would ask you to investigate this directly. Do you beat your heart? Do you know how to grow your hair or digest your food? An intelligence of unimaginable complexity is running your entire organism at every moment, and the conscious I, the narrator in your skull, has no idea how any of it is done. You have identified with the most superficial, chattering part of your own being, while ignoring the vast, silent, and wise reality of the whole system. You are not a ghost in a machine. You are the entire living, breathing system. And this system doesn't end at your skin. Your lungs require the air, which is made by the trees. Your body is built from the sun, the water, and the earth. You are not a being living in an environment. You are a feature of the environment. The loneliness you feel is the result of this trick of focus, like a single leaf on a tree believing it is all alone. The final wall to dissolve is the one between you and the world. We feel that there is a world out there and a self in here that experiences it. But this too is an illusion born of language. Consider the act of seeing. We say, I see the light, but what is light without an eye to see it? It is just radiation. What is an eye without light? It is a useless organ. The eye and the sun, the seen and the seer, arise together. They are two ends of a single event. The same is true for sound and the ear, for the physical world and the nerve endings that feel it. The world you experience is not separate from you. It is a co-creation. The universe is not something you are observing from a distance. You are the universe in the form of a human being observing itself. How can you be lonely in the universe when you are the universe? The feeling of being a fragile, separate witness to the cosmos is a hallucination. The glass wall you feel between yourself and the world is made of thought and nothing more. It is a ghost haunting itself. You are not a visitor on this planet. Your body, your mind, and the world you perceive are all part of one seamless and unified process. There is no in here versus out there. There is only the whole, magnificent, unfolding event. The liberation from this illusion is not what you might think. People fear the idea of no ego because it sounds like annihilation. They think it means becoming a mindless void. But that is the ego's own propaganda, its last-ditch effort to preserve its own imaginary existence. The dissolution of the ego is not the end of your personality, your joy, or your uniqueness. It is the end of the anxious tension of trying to be a separate thing. It is the end of the lonely soldier, constantly on guard. It is the difference between being a stone sculpture and being a dance. The ego wants to be a sculpture, solid, defined, separate, and permanent. It lives in constant fear of cracking, of eroding, of being destroyed. But your true nature is a dance. It is fluid, spontaneous, and inseparable from the music of the universe. The release from the ego is the relief of the sculpture when it realizes it can let go of its rigid form and finally join the dance. You are not a noun. You are a verb. And the loneliness you felt was simply the stillness of the stone, forgetting the joy of the dancer. and so the walls of the prison dissolve. The sense of being a lonely, isolated self was never a reflection of reality, but a story you were telling yourself. The entire project of defending, defining, and worrying about this separate I was the exhausting work of maintaining a ghost. And you can simply stop. This is the great invitation to rest. You have permission to lay down the heavy, lifelong burden of being a particular somebody. You can stop defending a border that was never actually there. The constant, low-grade effort of holding yourself apart from the world can cease. You do not need to build bridges to connect yourself to the universe. You simply need to realize that you were never on the opposite shore. Feel this in your body. Feel the invisible glass wall, which you thought was your skin, begin to thin, to become porous, to vanish into the air. The crushing weight of the word I can finally be set down. The feeling of being a single fragile point of consciousness can expand, spreading out to fill the entire field of your awareness. The universe is no longer something you are looking at. It is looking out through your eyes. You are no longer breathing the air. You are the air, moving in and out of a body. This does not mean your unique personality disappears. The wave does not cease to be a beautiful, unique form, but it is no longer anxious about its existence. It no longer feels the terror of being a solitary thing, responsible for its own survival. It knows it is backed by the power of the entire ocean. You can go on living your life with all its preferences, talents, and quirks. But you do so with a profound, unshakable peace, knowing that you are not some fragile ego, but the entire, unbreakable field in which your life happens. The strength you sought through rugged individualism was a shadow. It was the tense, brittle strength of a wall holding back a flood. The true, unwavering strength is that of the flood itself. It is the strength of knowing that the same power that lights the stars and grows the trees is the very power that beats your heart. You are not alone, because there is no you that could be separate from the whole. This is the ultimate secret that Alan Watts pointed toward. The path to freedom is not through strengthening the ego, but through seeing its illusory nature. The cure for loneliness is not to find another to comfort yourself. The cure for loneliness is the stunning realization that there is no separate self to be lonely in the first place.